Hot take here, but the reason that you can find filler and Botox for dirt cheap is because it is not real product. I just saw a video of someone who received lip injections in someone's basement for $200, and she's boasting about how this injector is making fillers and Botox affordable and accessible to all. Let me just preface by saying, as a licensed nurse injector myself, the filler and tox that we order is significantly more expensive than you guys think it is. We are not charging you an arm and a leg just to price gouge you and to make money off of you. It is expensive for us to provide this service for you. And on top of that, you're not only just paying for the product itself, you are paying for the injector's time, their experience, and their education.
There are people out here that are doing the devil's work, full time at that. Getting counterfeit Botox, counterfeit filler, faking themselves as nurses, and providing it for people that are A, not informed about the dangers of going to back rooms or basements, as if that's already not a red flag, and 2, people that want to cheap out or complain about something that is a need, when in reality it is a cosmetic wand. You can live without it. These people not only pose as nurses, they pose as nurse practitioners, some even pose as freaking surgeons. It's not surprising if you're new here. They offer facials, some even go the extra mile of giving you injectables. What's a nurse makeover? Well, I'm glad you asked. Typically, when you go to a medical spa, med spas as a lot of people call it, or even your dermatologist, you expect a licensed professional like an RN and nurse practitioner, somebody that a physician's assistant, a professional, okay? You expect those experts to perform procedures such as Botox, fillers, microneedling, chemical peels, and many, 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 many more. Not anymore, because some salons, especially nail salons and hair salons, have started offering beauty packages or med spa packages. Full disclaimer, I am not against med spas, and I'm not saying that all med spas are bad, but a lot of them need to be investigated, okay? And the thing is, a lot of these beauty packages, for one, they're sketchy as heck. You know what? Some people are just not as informed. The packages include facials, they include injections, and other medical type services in their back rooms. And the catch is that the person doing it, drum roll please, is not a nurse, is not a doctor, is not even licensed in anything under the medical umbrella. And those people that offer the cheapest deal, especially when it comes to your face, are the people, in my opinion, you should be looking out for and also calling them out. They simply go to their local store and they buy scrubs, wear scrubs, get a certificate, and just fake it until they get busted. You thought I was gonna say make it, right? No. You don't make it when you're botching people's faces. Now that we've both calmed down, that is why I call them nurse makeover. Should be nurse wannabe scammers, really. One of the most prominent cases that I've read, at least, involve Rebecca Fondinelli, the owner of Skin Butte Med Spa in Massachusetts. She allegedly pretended to be a nurse, imported counterfeit Botox and dermal fillers from overseas, and injected thousands of unsuspecting clients. And get this, the news article that I read said that she conducted over 1,631 Botox and 1,085 filler appointments. And she generated over $900,000 doing this.
Be nice. I'm finding it.
Nonsense. $900K from her fraudulent procedures. So according to nurse.org and various local news outlets that I've been reading on freaking Rebecca, she is simply not a nurse. She calls herself a nurse. She is in fact an esthetician. At that point, it goes out the door because you're performing fraudulent procedures and I don't want to hear it. That esthetician license, I really don't care for. She called herself a nurse, believed she was a nurse, set up a shop like she's a nurse, and she began injecting people with substances she ordered from suppliers from China as well as from Brazil that were not regulated, which means it could be anything in those freaking fillers and Botox, Lord knows. And I'm so saddened to think about the people that fell for her trap, except the ones that really knew what they were getting themselves into. Now, Rebecca's investigation only started after a client spoke up, after she started experiencing side effects such as bumps on her lips, as well as tingling after filler injection, and this was in 2022. That same client asked for a copy of the prescription, but she never received it. Are we surprised? And when customs officials seized packages that were addressed to Rebecca, they found unapproved prescriptions. Yeah, the ones you didn't receive, they were still being shipped from other countries. And now she faces up to 20 years in prison for illegal importation and up to 10 years for dispensing counterfeit drugs. If I'm being completely honest, I think they're being way too nice on her. She had procedures done to over 2,000 people, risking them for adverse reactions and even disfigurement. 30 years possibly is not enough because the damage is everlasting. And I wish those people would come out and call out med spas or just any backroom basement. I know there's shame that comes with it, but you could be helping somebody by simply speaking out. The same way that one client spoke out, I wish more people could actually come out. Even reach out to content creators. You can reach out to me, somebody, and they'll share your story, hopefully anonymously if that's how you'd like it. We're gonna get into identifying counterfeit Botox by actual professionals that know way more than me, and definitely way more than freaking Rebecca.
Hey, it's Dr. Groves. I just wanted to go over with you what's been in the news lately. Counterfeit Botox. How would you know if you're getting fake Botox? The number one warning sign is the cost is super low. It always says Botox Cosmetic on a botulinum toxin. The fake Botox just says botulinum toxin, and it also will show 150 unit vial. That is a counterfeit box. Botox only makes 50 and 100 unit vials. You're gonna see very closely, there's a hologram over the safety seal right here. So that's how you know this is an FDA approved product. Right there, there's a little hologram of the Dysport brand logo. Just keep an eye out for counterfeit Botox out on the market. When you come to Primera, we will show you our official packaging with the FDA approved labels, so we'll give you the best treatment and the safest treatment possible.
That was a way of identifying counterfeit Botox. There are several other ways. I'll be yapping about them here in a bit, but before I do, I know there may be people arguing that, oh, by doctors putting it out there, they make it easier for the scammers to perfect their craft and all of that jazz, but you can only perfect your fake craft, your fraudulent acts for so long until you get busted. I'll yap about other ways to find the red flags, but for now, Rebecca is not the only one. There are so many other Rebeccas out there. If your name is Rebecca, I'm so sorry. I'm just using her because she is an actual scammer, so I do apologize. So let me reword that. There are countless of other fake nurses, fake nurse makeovers out there. Rebecca is not the only one, and we're gonna get into somebody else that was busted for fraudulent procedures.
There was another person recently arrested for injecting fake Botox from China, so here are a few tips to avoid a situation like that. Number one, always research who you are going to. Their credentials should be loud and clear, and in almost every state in the US, only a doctor, nurse practitioner, or nurse can legally inject. You can verify someone's license on your state's healthcare provider search. Number two, you can always ask to see the vial. The way to authenticate a Botox vial, oh my God, I feel like I should be talking about handbags. Here's my Birkin. The makers of Botox actually put a holographic label on the vial to indicate that it is authentic. If you ask to see the vial and that injector scoffs at you or seems annoyed, I hope that is the last time you see that injector. Bye-bye. It is completely fine to ask questions, especially when it comes to your health and safety. Number three, if the price seems too good to be true, it probably is. Anything less than $10 per unit raises red flags. And number four, look up their practice name on the Botox website. Allergan, the maker of Botox, actually has a list of all of the accounts who purchase product from them. I hope this video helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
And to add to that, if you ask for their license, instead of being offended, they should be excited because they went through a lot to get the license that they have. Being a nurse is not easy. Some people act like it is and do some wild crap that we've spoken about, but it doesn't come easy.
A New York man was arrested for injecting fake Botox. How does this happen and what really happened here? A New York esthetician was injecting fake or counterfeit Botox that he got from China into his patients. And a lot of his patients then started experiencing complications from the injections, such as double visions, trouble swallowing, facial weakness. And one of his patients even got botulism. And what that is when Botox or botulinum toxin gets into the bloodstream, it can paralyze almost all the muscles in the human body. And the most dangerous of all is your diaphragm, which allows you to breathe. So if the levels get too high, patients just stop breathing bleeding, and unfortunately they can die. Many people probably don't remember the age-old stories of the iron lung. And what that is people that originally got botulism or other paralytic disorders, they'd have to go in and have a machine called an iron lung breathe for them. And in this case, if you get this toxin into your body, just like your facial muscles are paralyzed for many months, your diaphragm can get paralyzed for many months. And if a patient gets too strong a dose of Botox and their breathing becomes paralyzed, they will have to be in this iron lung possibly for many months after the procedure if they survive at all. So how does this happen? Well, some people don't realize that Botox is one of the most lethal substances on planet Earth. Some people say that as little as 4 grams of Botox could kill 8 billion people, or the entire population on planet Earth. Now, I don't want to scare you. You'd literally have to inject all 8 billion people with the Botox. You can't simply just poof and blow it into the air and it'll kill people. They have to be injected with it. But it does give you a sort of concept of how lethal of a substance Botox can be. And it's not something you want to be playing around with. You definitely don't want to be using counterfeit Botox, because if it's just slightly stronger than it's supposed to be, it can paralyze you and kill you. So I think one thing you should do when getting Botox is avoid scam artists or avoid fake doctors or counterfeit doctors. You'd want to go to any of the major manufacturers of botulinum toxins, such as Allergan, and you can see if the facility you're going to get the injections at are actually on the manufacturer's website. Secondly, you want to research whoever your injector may be. You want to make sure that whoever is injecting with the Botox, whether it's a doctor or a nurse injector, that they have the proper education and credentials to be injecting the Botox. Because in the right hands, this is a very safe and effective procedure. But in the wrong hands, as you can see here, it can cause serious complications and possibly even death.
From what we just watched, I think it's very safe to say that these unprofessional nurse wannabes, nurse makeover scammers just use injectable silicone. Even if they don't, just take it as if they do, because that is already dangerous. And anytime I hear about sketchy stuff like this, I think about contamination. These backroom procedures often lack sterile technique. They lack a lot of things. Needles may be reused. You may have no idea. They turn that chair around and it's whatever. As long as they get a check out of you, they don't care. Surfaces are definitely not sanitized. They don't care for that unless they really are trying to put out a front and freaking trick you into it, then they'll clean them. And there's no emergency equipment if you have an allergic reaction. A licensed clinic and even med spas, just making sure that y'all understand that I'm not saying all med spas, they have protocol, they have sterile instruments, emergency kits, cleanliness. Your local nail salon does not. Your basement salon does not. So please, please, please don't let someone inject anything into your face or body if they are not qualified. If you're broke, stay your butt at home.
I just wanted to pop on and I wanted to kind of expand on something I touched in one of my videos a couple of days ago, and it's in regard to counterfeit injectables that are going around. So a few months ago, several salon owners who I know in my state came to me and told me that there was a couple going around and they were selling classes on how to do injectables as well as product. I almost fell over when I heard this, and anybody who knows me knows that a very close family member of mine fell prey to a similar scam that was going around about 15 years ago and has suffered horrendous health issues ever since. It is not worth your health to put anything into your body that you are not sure where exactly it came from, or allowing anybody who is not properly trained and licensed to put anything into your body. There are people who do not care if it costs you your fertility, if it costs you your life, if it costs you body parts. And it is not an easy fix. So most of the time when people are selling you, selling you a story that sounds something like, oh, we bring it in from Colombia or from Brazil or from wherever, and it's a product that's legal there, that's not legal here. Oh, it's just cheaper because it's from there. I would stake my life on it that that product is not real and that it is in fact commercial grade silicone. When you put commercial grade silicone into your body, one of the things that can happen, especially if it's in large quantities, is that your body has an autoimmune response. Your body starts to attack it because it's a foreign substance in your body. it becomes inflamed, it becomes very painful. And because it's not encapsulated in anything, it's just free-floating products, it can move around. And because it is not something that is absorbed by the body, if it ends up, say, in your lungs, like game over. The only way to remove that kind of product is to cut into your body and scrape it out. When this happened to my family member, we contacted doctors, surgeons all around the world, anywhere where plastic surgery was like, where especially body work was big. My dad is from the Dominican Republic. There's a huge plastic surgery tourism business there. We spoke to relatives of ours who are cosmetic surgeons or plastic surgeons in the Dominican Republic, and everybody kind of had the same consensus, and it was to not touch it because there really was no great way to remove it unless you like had to go in and take it out. And most of the time what would happen is, especially if we're talking about here in the States, because of the liability issue, when you reach out to other doctors, nobody will touch you. What ultimately happens is you end up in the emergency room in an emergent situation. And at that point, you don't have anybody who's trained specifically to remove this kind of thing. This is something that is like so new still. So usually they would have to just kind of hack it out of you, and you'd be left with all kinds of indentations. You can do a search. The things that you will find will horrify you. In my family member's situation, she ended up being put in touch with a surgeon out of Manhattan who had gone and studied, I believe it was in Brazil, because they were seeing so much of this stuff. And the technique that he had developed along with his colleagues was basically to go in and cut out as much as they could. Lipoing it out is ill-advised because it just breaks the product apart and spread. It could create a bigger situation than what you've already dealt with. And, there's no way to get all of it out. And especially if it's already started to travel throughout the body, you can't just go in and just cut into yourself all over the place. It was really, really sad to hear some of the stories that he had been seeing. And at one point, he actually reached out to my family member and asked if she would speak with another woman that had contacted him who had been desperately trying to get this stuff out of her. But she had had so many procedures at this point that she just wanted to hear that there was going to be some kind of other like dissolvent that they'd be able to use. And she was refusing to allow him to operate on her. And he basically was just kind of at wit's end and was like, if I don't do this operation for her, she's not going to live much longer. And she had like a 2 or a 3-year-old.
Moral of the story, please seek licensed professionals, especially when it comes to your body. It is nothing to play with. Am I for cosmetic surgery? No. But what I'm definitely not for is unlicensed people playing in other people's faces and causing disfigurement or even death because of wanting fast cash for themselves. And this will be a hard pill to swallow for some of y'all probably, but I'll say it because it's in my head. The beauty industry feeds off insecurity and offers quick fixes. Social media glamorizes filters and injectables, and they make y'all think that you need plump lips, smooth foreheads, sculpted jawlines in order for you to be accepted. Then along comes somebody offering Rebecca Fondinelli a cheaper alternative, a cheaper deal with you, a beauty package for you, half the price of a med spa, and you think, oh, that's a good deal. No appointment needed. Just slide into the nail salon back room and you'll be good. After your pedicure, girl, go to the back room and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's not. It's not. If it smells like a scam, talks like a scam, walks like a scam, and looks like a scam, it's probably a scam. If you have to second guess yourself or your gut instinct tells you this is not right, it probably isn't. So don't let social pressure bully you into going the cheap route and you regretting your choices. Actually, don't let freaking society bully you into any sort of cosmetic surgery. The only way I can see somebody falling for this is if, for one, you bump your freaking head on the wall. And I'm saying that out of love, Or 2, you just think everybody that wears scrubs is a nurse automatically. Or 3, you're just uneducated on the risk. And that is part of the reason why I'm making this video. Or another way that I've seen personally is with my fellow immigrants. You'll catch somebody saying, oh, they picked this from Guatemala. It's still the same thing. It's just labeled as something else. You know how America is. Don't do it if it comes to your freaking face, injecting anything into your body. Do not do it. I'm calling y'all out right now. And just because your cousin's best friend's friend knows somebody that knows somebody else that can do it for cheaper doesn't mean you should do it. The scammers simply exploit trust and lack of regulation, and the beauty standards make more people vulnerable to fall for these scammers. Or even if they know, they may just say, you know what? I really, really need this nose job, or I really, really need my lips filled. You don't. You'll be fine. You've made it this far in life with how you look. You'll be fine. In the US, each state regulates who can perform injectable procedures or treatments. Typically, only licensed medical professionals like doctors, physician assistants, registered nurses in general that work under doctor supervision are allowed. Now, salons and spas require medical directors if they offer cosmetic injections. But enforcement with each state can be tricky, as with a lot of things, but unlicensed providers often operate under the radar. They advertise through private Facebook groups, which is already a red flag. Word of mouth, which is not a red flag if you are going to a professional, and move locations frequently. Y'all remember Princess Cuts? She moves all the dang time. She has a little boutique that she works at, but for the most part, she moves. Anyway, we're not talking about her right now, but she's the first person that came into my mind, and all I can see is her horse teeth. Anyway, now in Rebecca's case, I don't even know why her freaking socials are still up here. Federal prosecutors are pursuing charges that could lead to decades in prison, and I hope she gets as many years as she can get. Now I'm going to yap about all the red flags and proactive steps that you can take in order not to fall for these scammers. Verify credentials. Always ask to see the provider's freaking license. If they are being sketched out by you asking, then it is time for you to get up from that freaking back room chair and head out. And sometimes it is a good setting. Like, it's a good building, clean and everything, and it has nurses and everything looks nice, but you're still being scammed. So look out for that. Another way is to ask about the product. Legal practitioners can show you the brand, batch number, and packaging. They can even educate you on what you're about to inject yourself with. Ask questions, ask where they're sourcing their things. If for whatever reason they look at you in the face and they say, I can't show you the vial, get up and leave. Research pricing, especially in your area, not just generally, in your specific area. If the price is too good to be true, it probably is. Quality injectables and sterile techniques cost money, y'all. You can bargain with your face, but if you want to, don't come back to me or anybody else in this world and cry about it. Another way is to watch for pressure tactics. A professional will never, and I mean never, should never shame you or pressure you into a procedure. If someone says, your wrinkles are crazy, you need this Botox, that's a sales tactic and you need to run. But do not confuse that with a medical licensed professional that is actually suggesting something that will actually benefit you more than what you are wanting. For example, if you're wanting a lip flip and she's like, oh, you know what, just a little bit of lip filler here, you'll be fine. Then that's fine. But you can still, in that process, ask questions. Another one, if it's not obvious enough, thank you to the client that reported Rebecca. Report freaking suspicious activity. If you suspect someone is operating illegally, report them to your state health department, nursing board, the FDA. Just snitch. Snitch, snitch, snitch. Snitch it gets stitches. Not when you're gonna end up having your face needing a freaking stitch because you want to get botched from these people. Take your time doing the research. That's another step. My goodness. Take your time. You are allowed to talk. You are allowed to walk away and think about it. Don't let FOMO get in the way of you ending up in the ER. Trust me, those people have way more other things that they want to deal with, and your face being botched because you made the wrong decision and felt like, I don't know, somebody was going to get you for leaving when you were sensing something suspicious. Just leave. Just leave. Just leave. I know we live in an era of instant gratification, especially with the Gen Zs. Yes, I'm calling us out. But when it comes to your health, Slow and steady will always win the race. And I remember a thought going through my head when I was doing the research on Rebecca, and I was like, why are these scammers thriving? Because there's a market for them. I answered myself in that moment. I remember when I came out here and said, oh, natural beauty is good. And some people, if they could, they would have taken a knife and just stabbed my freaking mouth for even saying that. Y'all need to relax. Y'all truly need to relax. And also, while I'm at it, there's a comment. Should I find it? I remember saying that one of the reasons people want cosmetic surgery is because of insecurity. One of the many reasons. And this person said, well, she's beautiful. I never said she was ugly. I never said she was ugly. I said one of the many reasons is insecurity. You can be beautiful and still feel insecure. Let me add to that though. There is nothing wrong with wanting to feel confident, but you have to start asking yourself, at what freaking cost? When you risk your health, is it worth it? No, it's not. I'll answer that. Now that I've calmed down, I just wanted to let y'all know that your worth is not measured by how frozen your forehead is or how plump your lips are. If you do choose to get cosmetic treatment done, do it safely and with a licensed professional. I will continue. I will say that until my face turns blue. Quick shout out to all my anti-deluded members. Thank y'all so much for all the love that y'all show me. If you want early access to my videos, as well as some BTS, make sure that you hit the join button. But if you're on your last oodles and noodles, you have no business hitting that join button. If you found this video helpful, please make sure that you let me know in the comment section down below. If you are a medical professional that would love to come on and spread awareness, help me, help the people about beauty, go to my Instagram, hit me up, something. Beauty is fun. In the grand scheme of things, beauty is fun, y'all, but safety comes first. Keep your face and body in the hands of professionals and not scammers. See y'all next time.